Hello, dear friend, dear brother, dear sister. This is the 12th video in our series, of our march towards unconditional happiness. And we are looking at this open book of Mother Nature, what it actually teaches us. So the last video we covered about to be like a butterfly, right? And this video is work like a bee. It's quite beautiful what Mother Nature actually teaches us if you will listen in, tune in to what is being communicated here and apply that in your day-to-day life. Now look at one thing, the bees actually they make honey, and arguably if you talk to anyone, no one says that honey is bad because it's a herb, and when you take honey, it's got so many good attributes and qualities. It makes you warm, helps in the circulation of blood. You might have like a cold, it helps actually to take that away, virtually acting like an antibiotic. So it's a beautiful work actually which these bees do. Now also you see science and human beings in general actually know that the bee actually builds this beehive, which is a beautiful and intricate piece of actually architecture, and a lot goes into it. The queen bee sits there, and then the hive is actually built around her, and then the bees they fly from flower to flower, they collect the pollen and bring it back, and then what is the end product? The end product is again honey. So this is only actually how far we know, but now let us go a little bit deeper into it and understand a bit more that how does this apply, or what does it teach from a spiritual perspective to human beings. So you must have heard the term alchemy. We will discuss a little bit about that, but the sages actually knew a great secret which they learned actually from the bee. You know what they do? They build within them is what we call as spiritual honey. Now look, we cannot really change ourselves. Many lifetimes have gone, and there are so many habits ingrained in us that no matter how hard you may try, right, still somewhere or the other these impulses, the devils, the negative thoughts or feelings will come and disturb you. And the state about which I am talking is where there is absolutely no disturbance. So what the sages actually used to do. We communicate with so many human beings, so did they, but they picked up one quality from this bee, which you may term as alchemy. So what is this quality that they picked up? You see, whenever you come across another human being, everybody has got good habits and bad habits, but there is no human being, even though he is a murderer, he is a criminal or a thief or whatever it may be, a robber, still there is always some good in every human being. So what the sages did? They never paid any attention to these bad qualities of other human beings. They only looked at what are these good qualities. So they'll pick up these good qualities, reflect on them from others, and that is what they nurtured, what I call this spiritual honey in them of good thoughts and good feelings. Now actually what happens. You see, as I said, we cannot really progress, but when you build this spiritual honey by reflecting on the good nature of others, leaving aside all their bad habits, what happens is that this is the honey which is liked by these higher beings, the angelic beings, the beings of light, the angels or the devas or the sur, whatever you may call in your language. So they actually come and feed on this spiritual honey made up of these good thoughts and feelings produced as a result of alchemy. And what happens is that they just feed on that is all, and then they leave. But look, when an angel comes or a deva comes or a nature spirit comes, because I have a state where I even communicate with rocks. It might appear a bit silly, but that's basically where I've reached in my own evolution. So what happens is that when they communicate with you, when they leave a lot of light behind. And you know, that light which they leave behind actually helps you to go further on your journey towards unconditional happiness. This is one of the most beautiful and one of the most marvelous things that nature has put in front of us about the work that the bee does and what it teaches, and hence the title is very appropriate. So I hope that you will reflect on this and you will work like a bee and you will bring it into your life. Thank you very much for listening. We will continue with these spiritual discussions or short talks on the open book of Mother Nature. Thank you.